Welcome back into Fox 54 for a special edition of the Blitz. I'm your morning anchor, Jackson Rowland.
Now I'm your news producer, David Joaqui. We're covering a very, very big game, the College Football Playoff National Championship.
Today's the day we've waited all season, the 12-team playoff, all kinds of coaching drama, and it's all down to this Indiana-Miami. Let's get started. All right, David, let's get right into it. Big
Hold on,
game.
Jackson. Before we get started here, I think we got to fix something up here. I'm not liking a little bit of like the dynamic here. How about we go ahead and switch over, sir?
I think I know where you're
Let's
going.
go. This feels a lot better.
Don't know. Our producer David here, quite the Miami fan, and I might disagree with you here. I've been Hoosiers all the way. Well, at least after my team lost. But Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman winner, going up against Carson Beck, former Bulldog.
Yep.
People slept on him, some controversy in the offseason, but you can't deny his performance the past few weeks.
Absolutely not. He's had a huge resurgence since that SMU loss. They're right now on a 7-game win streak. He's right now thrown 15 touchdowns, only thrown 2 interceptions in that time span, and he had the clutch rushing touchdown to win him the game against Ole Miss. So as someone who, beginning of the year, I was like, all right, I wasn't sold on Carson Beck on the signing. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give him a chance. UM has a thing of turning people around, bringing the dog out of them. Yeah. No pun intended there. And I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, we mentioned UM has a tendency to bring the potential out of people. Mario Cristobal has a potential to bring the potential out of people. And, of course, these are both Nick Saban coaches. Yep. They both have very disciplined teams. What I like about Indiana, what Curt Cignetti has done here in his first few years, they're an explosive team, but they're disciplined. You're not going to catch them jumping off sides. There's not going to be special teams mistakes. Very few turnovers. Mendoza, only 6 interceptions on the year. He's not forcing things. 41 touchdowns on top of that. That's why he's a Heisman winner. But he's got help in the backfield from Roman Hemby. He's got targets, Omar Cooper Jr. This offense is explosive. They're disciplined. They're a veteran team. People are making fun on social media. You got their average team age is 23 years old. Then you look at like Malachi Tony on Miami, fresh out of high school.
18 years
right,
old.
Young as it gets, but performing, I'll say that.
100%.
Here is something to look out for. Here's the difference. If you look at the average size of Miami's offensive line, we're talking well over 300 pounds, almost 333 pounds. The average size of Indiana's line for their defensive line, under 300 pounds, like 297. So a big size difference is going to come down to physicality, strength. Can they pressure Beck and Mendoza, and how will each respond?
Yes, and I think both teams, obviously UM has been known to be just hard-hitting team, being gritty. Indiana has done pretty much the same. They've only had 2 games that have been rather close. That was against Ohio State and Penn State. Every other game, they've blown everyone out. They just played Oregon again, 5 touchdowns from Mendoza. He's proving why he's the Heisman winner without a doubt, and why this team you cannot sleep on. And I think that's going to be something huge Miami has to do. Something I really liked that they did against Ole Miss was that they controlled the ball. They ran, they had 15 play drives, getting some scores. Yes, a lot of those I feel like should have been some touchdowns, but they're still controlling a lot of the ball, and they kept the ball out of Chambliss's hands, and I think that's what they're going to have to do with Mendoza. Something that a lot of people don't know is that Mendoza has faced this team before last year when he was in Cal, and he lit them up. That defense, he lit up that UM defense, so that's a little bit of my concern. He might want to get revenge because UM did come back to win that game and essentially cost them a chance there.
Yeah, that was a very different team. It was a different Mendoza, but that's a good point to make. We've seen this matchup to some respect before, but it's a very different look now. You got Curt Cignetti leading this IU team. They looked great. Now, last week, one thing that was more concerning was that was some of the first times we've seen some weakness in the IU offense, at least early in that game with a couple of turnovers. For Miami, I love the way they managed the clock against Ole Miss, which I think comes down to Carson Beck, his veteran experience with UGA, that Kirby Smart coaching, again, a Nick Saban coach, which is just wild that every coach in the playoffs is a Nick Saban coach.
Everyone, it's insane.
It's all from the family tree. It's going to come down to, I think, which team can play well in the third quarter. Now, you'd say, Jackson, why not late in the fourth quarter? I don't believe that's going to be the case in this game. I don't see it being tight down to special teams, comeback plays in the fourth. I think this game's decided in the third, down to the schemes these coaching staff has shown us all year. I think third quarter is the one.
I think I'm with you on that one. It's going to be third quarter, definitely very big how either team responds. What I would say Miami has an advantage is that they're playing at home. They're playing at the Hard Rock in Miami. True. And even though a lot of people might not know, I feel like now it's been getting known a lot more that Mendoza went to high school down in Miami. Yeah. So he is a hometown child. So I like the story we're getting here. But I still think through and through, most people in Miami are Hurricanes fans. And that Hard Rock is going to be rocking. No pun intended there. So I think that's going to be key. If the fans are being heard, it might be a little bit hard for Mendoza and Cignetti to just get some play calls, because I don't feel like they've had an atmosphere like that just yet.
Yeah, now we've got to get down to some picks. I'll take a wild stab at who you're going with, but I've got to go with the Hoosiers in Indiana, 15-0. It's been a barn burner season, and you got to love the story. This team hasn't seen much success at all in, I guess you could say, almost a century. And so for this team to come through and get it done, Mendoza winning the Heisman, the story that he's had through college years, I'd like to see the Hoosiers win it, and I think they have what it takes to do it.
Huh? Be a Cinderella story. So what are you giving score-wise?
Well, they're favored right now. I want to say it was 7.5.
It was like 7 or 8.5.
It was about 7.5. So correct me if I'm wrong there on the Facebook. You guys certainly will. Keyboard Warriors. But I want to say they're the favorite. I think it's going to actually be a bigger difference than that. I think whichever way this goes is a 2-score game.
Okay. So wait, but you're picking Indiana.
But I ain't going to Indiana. I'm going to 2-score game.
We're thinking what, like 30-21? What are we thinking there, Jackson?
I'll throw out 35-24.
35-24. All right. And hey, you're right. Cinderella story. I love Cignetti when he got there. I'm not an Indiana fan, but I love a coach that can come in.
Yeah.
And, he's like, oh, this is a basketball school? Not anymore. You're going to respect this. And in 2 years, he's been able to change that program, make them contenders, get them to the national championship. So I have plenty of respect for Cignetti. But the U is back, baby. Mario Cristobal in Miami. Oh, calm down there, sir. Mario Cristobal in Miami, back there, former Hurricane. He took this team, made it his own. A lot of people criticize him because of past years, maybe little stupid calls where they lost to Georgia Tech, some losses early in the season against SMU. Were they back? But he's been able to show that he's able to pull the dogs out of these guys and bring the U back. So I'm going Miami, University of Miami, to win 28, and I'm going to give them some credit, 21.
He's a real bipartisan sports analyst here. But anyway, it's going to be a great game. Either story you look at is phenomenal. It's going to be exciting. That game coming up tonight. Be excited. Get your friends together. Watch it. Stay up late. Just go ahead and do it. It's Martin Luther King Day. And enjoy some college football. We'll see you back next week on The Blitz.